Shalom, all praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Racha Kodash, and double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy, to the elect of the nation of Israel, who may you so call Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, beginning with the 144,000 prophets, and Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, willing, this lesson is edifying. The inspiration for this lesson came from a news article I was reading at work, whereby it shows another example of one of the U.S.'s allies displaying their frustration at America Babylon the Great due to a planned tariff that the current president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, aka Nero Caesar, intends on imposing on them. And this particular ally is Canada. And Canada had made a statement saying that they are preparing to retaliate appropriately. But this is just, as I stated, another example of one of America's allies displaying their frustration at America before the world stage. And this will eventually develop into hatred, and not just from Canada towards America, Babylon the Great, but also, especially according to biblical prophecy, from its European allies that are a part of NATO and the European Union, the EU, according to biblical prophecy written of here in Revelation, the 17th chapter, the 16th verse. It says, "And the ten horns represents the nations that comprise the European Union, also known as the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast. The beast is the pagan Roman Empire, which came back in the form of NATO and the EU, with America being an extension of that empire. These allies of America, Babylon the Great, shall hate the whore, which the whore represents America, Babylon the Great, the virgin daughter of Babylon, and shall make her desolate. How are they going to make her desolate? By bending their bows, which is a metaphor for their nuclear silos, to shoot their arrows, which is a metaphor for their nuclear missiles, to the intent of destroying America, Babylon the Great, according to biblical prophecy, and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And indeed, according to biblical prophecy, this land will be made desolate and be burnt up with fire by reason of the weapons of the Lord's indignation, which are the ICBM nuclear missiles, according to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 25. And so America, Babylon the Great's allies will eventually betray her and make it very clear, very evident that they are enemies and no longer allies. Obadiah, verse 7. All the men of that confederacy. Now, what is a confederacy? A confederacy is an agreement. Con means with, federacy means federation, which a federation is a pact or an agreement. In fact, let's examine the word confederacy. The Lord's willing, from the Online Etymology Dictionary. A confederacy, a contract between two or more persons, states, etc., for mutual support or joint action. An example of a confederacy is NATO and the European Union. And so, to unite by a league, with, together, which the word con means with or together. Federacy is from federer, or from fodius, which means a league. With a league or together, a league. To trust, confidence, pursue. And how are America's allies confederate with her, in contract with her? Through traffic, trade, through air, land, and sea, especially sea. And all the men of America, Babylon, the great confederacy, that are in agreement with her, according to biblical prophecy, have brought thee even to the border. So they will all be brought to the border. What border is that referring to? Let's find out. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. So this is a proclamation among the Gentile nations. Prepare war. So the proclamation among the Gentile nations is to prepare for war, because the third world's woe, according to Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, comes quickly, because we are in a season of war, according to Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the 8th verse. And the reason why we have been seeing nations beating their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks into spears. That is to say, and take their economic wealth and use them towards the research, development, enhancements, and modifications of weapons of mass destruction, in particular for ICBM nuclear missiles. So prepare war. This is a proclamation. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Because remember, all the men of America, Babylon, the great confederacy, which will deceive her, will bring her near to the border. And again, what border is that referring to? Let's read on to find out, Lord is willing. Let all the men of war draw near, because all the men of war will also draw near to this border. How do we know this? Prophecy. Revelation, the 16th chapter. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. And I broken that down earlier. Let the weak say, let weak nations, including North Korea, China, Iran, India, say, I am strong. Because now they possess nuclear capabilities. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Round about where? Thither cause thy mighty ones, which are the angels, to come down, O Yahweh. And the chief angel is Michael the archangel. And above Michael the archangel is our Lord Yahweh Shai. And he will come to recompense all the mighty men, all the heathen nations that will be gathered in that region to fight the Third World War. I say that region because we have to read on to find out what that region is, to tie it back to the book of Obadiah, right? So sit tight. It says, "Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai." This is the point. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to where? To the valley of Jehoshaphat. And that is the region where the heathen nations will assemble their armies and go together round about for the purpose of war. Because that is where the Third World War will be fought. In that region, in that valley, the valley of Jehoshaphat, which Jehoshaphat in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shabbat, which means Yahweh's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So that is where the Lord is going to execute judgment through Yahweh Shai upon not just the heathen nations, but upon the Edomites, right? And then after and simultaneously destroy their kingdom, destroy this land according to biblical prophecy. Now we know and understand, for those of us out there that are new, what verse 7 in regards to the border is referring to. It is referring to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, that is the border that it is referring to, because that is where the Lord is going to judge the heathen nations round about. All right, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. And how are they going to do that? Through destroying her. We had read that in Revelation, the 17th chapter. And prevail against thee. They that eat thy bread through traffic, through trade, have laid a wound under thee, a trap, a snare, that betrayal. There is none understanding in him. Why? Because his pride, his hubris, has blinded him. So all these things will happen according to biblical prophecy. Whether you believe it or not, these things are written to happen. All right? Thus saith the Lord. These things are written to happen. So with that, I conclude this lesson. Just wanted to make it short and sweet. I was inspired by that article to do this lesson, and I pray that it has been edifying to the Lord's elect, because that is our duty, to edify. All right? So, Lord's willing, I'll catch y'all in the next lesson.